friends,
Enemies.
Julie.
Michael
Welcome to episode
Francis
19. It's
Barker.
my intro. Don't you dare talk over the top of me.
You know my favourite
Today's
thing
my
to do
time.
is to take your intro.
You do. That's very early us, actually. That's very raw season one. Cringe us, I reckon.
Cringe.
That's something we used to do. But
When we
how
didn't
are
used
we?
to just reminiscing on the days where we didn't even used to have a run sheet, but now we've got a run sheet. Jeez, this light's a bit harsh though, isn't it?
We've got a lot. We've got expert lighting. Remember the first ever episode? You're like, oh, we better intro ourselves. Do you want to sort of tell the listeners about who you are? I'm like, oh, we don't need that, Jules. We don't need that.
What a real throwback. But I'm going really well, Michael Francis Barker. Just enjoying this lovely long weekend. It's been nice to have the day off today and just relax and forgot about the troubles of working
Football.
in sports content. Hey,
yeah.
how are you going?
Yeah, no, I feel for you, but that's enough about you already. I think I'm good.
That's it.
I'm enjoying not being as close to Carlton. Well, enjoying and not enjoying, but I think this is a good season for the men's team at least. We don't know what the AFLW crew are going to do, but it's tough times for you at the minute. But hey, at least your actual mob Essendon got over the line, which probably wouldn't saying much considering their opposition.
It was a hard watch. Like I worked half the game and then had to go watch as a supporter, and I really didn't know who to support at any stage of the game. I was sad that Carlton didn't win, but then a part of me was happy that Essendon did. It was very conflicted. You could call me Natalie Imbruglia because I was torn.
Where did that come from? Well done. You are a good podcaster.
Yeah.
I'm generally impressed with that.
Thank you.
Is that so you just got written on your hand or something? Ready to go?
No, it just came to mind. But it was a hard watch. But anyway, that's not what we're here to. We're not a sports podcast, Michael. We're a content podcast. So what else has been happening? You've been working today. You just told me about a bit of a content op that you had today. That was quite nice.
Yes. So our friend Chris Golding, so he's a Melbourne United basketball player. He's co-owner or part owner of Hoop City, of course, and he had a few things to do with Hoop City this weekend. So he had a camp yesterday, and then today filmed him. A kid won a private workout with him, Jules. I was telling you about this earlier, so that was pretty cool. And then he, as I told you, which relates to us talking about organic moments and capturing these moments, Chris gave the 14-year-old kid Lucas his pair of shoes he wore for most games last year. So that was nice, and the camera was rolling, so that's the most important thing.
Do you reckon he washed them first, or were they a bit like stinky?
Well, I don't know. He said, "Oh, do you have the keys for the locker room?" And I started looking at him like, "Why the hell would I have keys to your locker room?" And then he just got them. So maybe not. Maybe they're fresh. Maybe he had a workout before it.
They're definitely stinky shoes. I don't know what I'd do if someone handed me their like sweaty footy boots. Like, I'd feel a bit like.
If you're a kid though, yeah. But if you're a 30-year-old man, it's a bit different.
Man. But like, there's all these people at the footy now that have the signs that are like, "Oh, please give me your boots after the game," and I can't think of anything worse than just getting it handed these sweaty, wet, muddy, like old Pumas that just reek out. Like, what are you going to do with them?
I think footy's. You got to remember the shoe culture of basketball though. That's a bit different to a muddy boot from an AFL field.
That's true. Does Chris have good shoes? What's he rocking?
I'm not really a shoe head. Is that what people call it?
Sneaker head, I don't think.
Sneaker head,
that's what you're going for.
No, but he actually answered during his camp over the weekend. One of the kids asked him what his favourite shoes were, and I think they were the Kobe Grinches or something like that. The bright green ones. You might have seen them on a few players.
I know the Kobe Grinch as well.
Oh yeah, do you?
I do. I'm a sneakerhead,
size
mate.
extra small for you,
tiny baby sizes.
But anything else from your side of the things from this week, Julian?
No, just really enjoyed the long weekend. Me and the lovely Marnie Olsen-Young got away to Kyneton for the day on Saturday when had a pie, which was quite nice. And also had
pies are bloody underrated.
Oh, I hadn't had one in so long. Like, I can't tell you how long I hadn't had a pie for. And it was honestly like you're gonna hate this, but it was a little orgasm in my mouth. It was quite
Oh,
like, I know you
but
don't
hang
really.
on, it was a veggie pie,
It was a
right?
veggie pie. It was
Yeah.
a mushroom, a truffled mushroom pie, which was just delicious from
It-
the old Cobb Country Baker. Oh, hello, Bernie. Cobb Country
well,
Bakery or something like that.
the yeah, I do like where you're going because the bakeries or the cafes that specialize in pies are the really good ones. Like they are delicious. And maybe an early controversial call from me.
Mm.
Back when you ate meat, I would say that the processed pies, not the real meat, are actually better than the real meat pies.
Okay, so you're thinking like a Fawn and 20, like real shitty servo type
Yeah,
pie
they're
is better.
they're better than the chunky real meat ones you get that have like just the texture of it. I don't know what it is. It just doesn't suit a pie. Give me the 4 and 20.
You know what? I won't disagree
What?
with you because, like,
Really?
do you remember when you were little and you used to get like party pies? And that's the
Oh
same, like
yeah, yeah.
shitty, like chewy, just saucy gravy meat goodness that like the Fawn and
Great
20
call.
has.
I wonder what it is. What's it, what is in it?
It's probably salt and butter. Like it just tastes good. Like it's not
Welcome to the pie catch-up. This
great
is good
pie in the
chat.
sky.
No, it's good. It's about our week, so I like
Yeah.
that. But you're right, party pies. God, they were good.
Yeah. And
Anyway.
this pie was delicious. Like it, obviously veggie pie, but it was delicious.
Mm.
And then yesterday had a footy training in the morning. Me being me, and this will you come as no surprise to you, Michael Francis, is that I didn't probably read the message that came out from the club, and then I just saw that the training time had been updated to a bit earlier, and I was like, yeah, no drama. That actually works out better for me. It ended up being a full blown scratch match against another pub, so training was a bit more intense than
Weren't
what I
aware of
was
it.
expecting. But yeah, that was
How'd you go?
well, I think we won.
Oh,
Very.
nobody kept score.
Nah, it wasn't. It was pretty like unofficial, but yeah, it was very muddy in the middle. It just felt like every time you were stepping in cement. So a bit sore today.
Oh, well, sounds like a bunch of excuses. What position do you play again? I forgot.
I play mid or wing, basically.
Okay.
Yeah, so pretty
Liking
much
yourself to a player quickly before we move on to content.
oh, Jesus Christ.
So many.
So many. Some would say a young Patrick Cripps. Others would say young James Hurd. But at the moment, I'd probably say call me Mark Mercuri because I'm just mercurial.
Okay. It wasn't good as yet. Natalie what's her name?
Natalie
Torn.
Brulia. Yeah. Anyway, do you want to get up to content?
Yeah, we might as well
Okay.
move on. No, you hit me. You hit me?
I'll
hit
hit
me.
you. So, Barks, I know it was one of our points earlier this year to highlight some Australian creators. And I stumbled across one a few weeks ago, and I haven't brought them up, so I thought now's the best time. So, Ben Grimes,
Grimesy.
doing a bit of work for AFL Queensland, but more specifically doing a few like collabs with AFLW players during the preseason and off season. Some really cool photography and then some really cool reels as well, and like some TikToks, just more kind of based on the sole athlete focus, Buck. So quite similar to what you were doing for a bit, working closely with the athletes themselves rather than the clubs or anything like that to just showcase the work that's going on in the behind the scenes. Nothing crazy, but like just good, like solid content, I guess. Like,
Yeah.
again, highlighting the people that need to be highlighted and giving a showcase to the athletes that work so hard behind the scene and don't have the focus that anyone else does. He's got some great photography, but also some great videos, covers a lot of different ground. I just thought I'd give Grimesy a good shout out because he's doing that thing that we've spoken about so often, Barks, and putting himself out there and working with athletes to help build their brand, and then also building his brand as well at the same time.
Love it. Yeah, I think it's just I always appreciate when people have these I'm not going to say niche, but things that they start doing over and over again and sort of been known for that one thing. And this is AFLW. Clearly, I assume most of these are the Brisbane girls. Yeah, I like it. I rate it. I think it's cool because when you start to highlight the individual, naturally teammates and friends will get around the post a lot more, and then you start to build up their profiles.
Well, I think that's what we're also like. If we're looking through his profile, it looks like he's started working with maybe one or two athletes, and a few more of them have dropped in and actually seen the benefits of this. And that's the reality of it. Like for athletes, it's how much you're willing to put yourself out there and how consistently you're willing to do that. So if you have the opportunity of a content creator coming up, and this is for the athletes listening, but if you have the opportunity of a content creator that comes up to you and is willing to work with you, I think it's just an easy yes. Like,
yeah, I agree.
Yeah, they'll do 9.
And way to follow up.
Sorry,
way to follow up on your own point, Jules, about we're going to shout out Australian content creators. So good finding, Grimesy.
Yeah, Grimesy. So if you want to follow him, it's Grimes_film on Instagram. And he's also got a few TikToks out there as well, so give it a bit of a look. The other bit of content, loose content, Barks, is something that I think we've spoken about a couple of times, but it caught my attention and I wanted to get your take on it. It's this tweet from Bad Design Podcast, a great follow on Twitter. And the tweet reads, "Creative people need time to sit around and do nothing."
Yes, yeah. I'll rate this.
Well, I want to get your thoughts before I jump into mine. And I know you've been doing a bit more of this recently. If you want to jump in and share anything that you're thinking.
Well, you're fucking saying I sit around and do nothing a bit more
No,
recently.
you know what I mean.
No, I just relate to this a lot because I think even as recent as last week, I think there was a time, well, it was probably Friday because I took that off because I was doing a couple of days over the weekend. But I think naturally just because of what I do and I like the stuff on the side as well, at the minute I sort of have a day that I don't have anything to do and like all the housework's done or whatever it might be, I instantly think, oh, this afternoon I should do something creative, or like why not use it to edit a photo or do something. And then I sort of thought the same thing last week. I'm like, why though? And I know me personally, if I sit around and just watch a TV show for an hour, that's when I'll probably feel more creative. So I just think it's so accurate. You sort of need, like people go on about it all the time, but you go for a walk, you go outside, you whatever, that's when your ideas are going to come to you. You can't just sit there at a computer being like, come on, idea, come on, I need something. So I just think it's just facts.
Yeah, and I don't know about you, and I think I'm quite similar. Like I start to feel guilty if I'm not doing something. Today was really good. Like this morning I had a bit of a sleep in, and then I just sat on the couch and just scrolled through TikTok and Insta, and but I actually allowed myself that hour to just sit there and not think, oh, I've got to get up and do this, or got to get up and do that. And I'm not saying like everyone should spend like 4 or 5 hours just scrolling through TikTok and Twitter and Instagram every day, because that's also like not that helpful if you're trying to switch off and relax.
Do you think so? Do you think that helps you? Like if you're actually just scrolling there with no, like if you're just scrolling and you're not gonna do anything from it, do you actually enjoy that? Because I'm the opposite. I find just sitting there and going through other people's work will dampen my creativity.
Well, like it's funny because I feel like my algorithm at the moment is so different to the stuff that I actually create that it is relaxing for me.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and because I think I make such a point. Well, I really got so addicted to TikTok, and this is probably a different discussion, that I actually made quite an effort to stop scrolling as much. Like I'll do it after dinner maybe, but like try not to do it during the day, or like if I'm just bored, I won't pull out my phone and start scrolling. That it is a source of relaxation for me now and entertainment. So like, again, it's just allowing your brain to just be distracted from thinking about work and actually start like getting new ideas and getting inspired to start working again, or the next thing when you need an idea, you've got this bank of fresh thinking in whatever you're doing. Like you said, you could be out for a walk and see something. You could be doing the housework. You could be just sitting on the couch watching NBA or whatever it might be, and you might just get this like moment of clarity of something that you're working on or you've been trying to work on, and it just all becomes like so clear to you what you need to do. And I think that lack of pressure in the moment is so important.
Yeah. I think it's a really good point. It is interesting because I think everyone's different. Like what works for you and what works for me, as we just found out in that small example, is different. So like you don't know until you sort of try these things. And I was sort of thinking as you were saying that, do you think there's like a recent like shift in TikTok, like in terms of what people think of it? Like I know people still know it's terribly addictive and quite shit at times in terms of our brains have just turned to mush, but I feel like there's a bit of shift in that people are understanding that it can be beneficial to you.
Yeah, I definitely think that. And it's actually interesting you say that. I saw, I think it may have been a tweet. I don't know if it was a friend of the show, Edwin, or someone that he retweeted. That's actually the demographic of TikTok.
Oh, yeah, that was Edwin.
It was Edwin, yeah. It's changed dramatically. Fuck, I hate when it's Edwin. Why does he have to be right all the time?
It's always him, isn't it?
Such a
it's like the older demographic.
Yeah. So like I think originally people our age and perhaps from like 25 upward would think that like you know, TikTok's for dancers and like kids and stuff like that. But in reality, it is a great source of entertainment, information, inspiration, whatever you want it to be in a very easy to access format, and a very like addictive format as well, because you don't know what you're going to get next, which is the brilliance of it.
Yeah, I think it's just so the wide variety is just hilarious to me. Like 1 minute I can be stuck on. A recent thing I've been stuck on is, and it's just so random, completely off topic, but this guy that what are the freestyle rappers called? Maybe it's just called freestyle, but there's this like famous rapper that goes on that. What's the video call service, Omegle or something that Americans use?
What was that? Sorry.
Do you know that video like sort of chat service called Omegle?
Oh, yeah. Chat,
so I think it's
and
big,
like chat roulette and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like a big chat room, and you get randoms. And anyway, this famous freestyle rapper just asked the person he matches up with Omegle like 3 or 4 difficult words to rhyme with, and then he busts out this amazing freestyle rap on the spot. It's absolutely incredible. It's all I've been watching.
And so this is what I mean, like. This is why I don't understand people who say like, oh, TikTok is just mind rotting, because occasionally you just land on these gems and you're like, oh fuck,
yeah,
like this is
like that's
so
a genuine
cool.
skill that is entertaining and opening my eyes to how good someone can be in a different form of like musician, or I don't know, I forgot his name, but
does this mean that you're going to start your rap career now?
Yeah, so give me 4 difficult.
Just to wrap this one up.
Good one.
I just thinking like, I think it's so important for creatives to find the thing that works for them when they're like stuck on something, or even just to switch off, because your brain, so often as content creators and creatives in the space, you're called upon so often to find a solution for something that it can be overwhelming. And people just think that you have this tap that you turn on and it's like ideas just come. If you don't allow yourself the chance to just do nothing, reset, refresh, those ideas are just shit and you hate yourself for them. So don't be hard on yourself. And like to this point, we need time to sit around and do nothing to recharge, because in the nothing, that's where you find the next best thing.
The something.
Yeah.
That was beautiful.
You complete
it's a funny point, because I low key really disliked or really dislike in general the meetings where we'll have something coming up and then we'll sort of just be like, all right, let's think of some ideas, but whoever's organized the meeting or whatever hasn't actually put that in the rundown, so it doesn't actually give me or other people time to think. Do you know what I mean? So like,
I know what you mean. Like you can't come prepared or whatever it is.
Yeah, I've never been the type of person, like I can be as creative as you want if I'm given time to think. But I've never been that person to sit in a meeting and be like, I can give you my best idea right here, right now.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't work like that.
No, and very few people do. Like, it's kind of inconsiderate of anyone. It's like if you would turn around to someone and just say, hey, like, I need someone from finance to be like, hey, I need this profit and loss straight off the back, like work out our financial position for the next 5 years. And they'd be like, well, I need time to do that. Like, I can't just,
So it reminds me of the episode you went to town on accountants or something.
I love accountants. They're my favourite people.
All right. Good chat from you this week, Jules.
Thanks,
well done.
Mate. What have you got?
Mine's not really. It's more of a continuation on last week because I thought it'd be interesting to put our AI discussion to content catch up. So what I mean by that, I know you knew I was sort of playing around with it, and while I'm on this topic, I thought it was very clever that you did our episode post during the week all AI, didn't you? So created the graphics and caption.
Yes, the caption was all all written.
It's very.
It was very much wasn't us.
Yeah, I loved it though. But anyway, furthering us putting this to practice, I wanted to. It was a bit ironic actually because I do want to put up more snippets of our shows, just Instagram reels, on our page.
Yep.
Anyway, so I was going right. I was reading as I was fucking get it
together.
What are
you trying to do? Just talk.
I'm reading as I was trying to talk. So instead of putting the time to actually make these snippets, I'm like, I'm going to try to find an AI program to cut up our YouTube episodes and make us tons of Instagram reels. So I tried to. I'll give you a bit of a rundown. So the first one was called Opus.pro. And Opus.pro, it was actually pretty quick. I'll give it that, but it didn't get the camera switches right. So the whole snippets was just me talking to myself, but it did pump out a lot of them. Like, it was literally impressive how many it pumped out. I'd say 15 to 20 snippets off this 1 hour YouTube thing in like the span of, I don't know, 10 minutes of me just leaving it buffering, and every snippet it pumped out, it sort of gave me a catchy title, which I found funny because they're all full clickbait titles. So I've noted a few down, and this was a few episodes ago, but anyway, a few examples of what are the snippets it gave me. So first one was discover the shocking success story of a viral TikTok guest. Second one was photographer.
So dramatic.
Yeah, it's full clickbait. And this was the episode you talked about, the NBA photographer who does the shots from above.
Oh yeah.
So it cut that one up for us, except again, it was just me talking to myself with your voice off to the side. But it was photographer unveils insane way he captures epic NBA shots. And then the last one was uncovering the shocking truth about Australian celebrities you won't believe. That one didn't even make sense. But
what was that one?
I don't know. We probably mentioned something about an Aussie content creator, but that was all right. It gave us captions with that one as well. It was those punchy, bright captions. That was pretty good, but it just didn't get the camera switches right, and some of the context wasn't quite there. But you could definitely post them if they got the camera switches right. That was the main thing. Anyway. Second example is video.ai. I'm just reading these out just in case any of the listeners want to give it a try. But this one took longer than the first one, but I will say it seemed a lot better in the way it actually did it. It had basic templates that you could sort of choose how you want your snippet to look, and then you could actually go into it and change the camera angle. So it was a bit more of a program. It only allowed you to export them at 720p without paying for it, so it did have more limitations. But again, it was pretty good. It wasn't quite as clickbaity, and it didn't have as many that the first one did, but it's definitely a different world out there, Jules. It was very interesting. And this one cost $450 a year, I will say.
Okay, but that's reasonable. If you're getting a good volume of work out of it, $450,
I think so.
Which saves you probably like so much time in the video editing suite. Like, that's got to be worth it.
It's not awful. I mean,
no.
I related NBA League Pass is a bit below that, I think. So depending on if you're going to use it, well, you get enough. But it's just interesting to actually see what could work. Like, I think the second one would be more what you'd have to do. The first one you could use it for free, so it's probably telling.
So, question on the back of that: do you think you'd implement something like that into your day to day?
Well, I think if you found the right program and I think you give it a try, yeah. Like if you had a podcast that you think you could bust out 10 to 15 snippets with you doing no work besides uploading the raw one file podcast, I'd give it a try.
You would?
Yeah, but I mean, I think you'd want to do a trial to actually see if it worked.
That's true. And like,
and
it's got to get like the right engagement and stuff like that, doesn't it? Like, you don't just be pumping shit.
But I mean,
out.
let's be honest. Like, if you have a podcast that's successful, half the things you scroll on TikTok and Instagram, if that's what you're sort of looking at, they're just really good snippets from podcasts. Like, I think it could work.
I just wonder how like intuitive AI is to your actual audience and like what they like consuming. You know what I mean?
But that's
like,
what I mean.
Yeah.
You won't know until you know.
Try it, yeah. You don't know if you don't know. There's always two sides to every story.
There's a lot of logic in that. But I just thought it'd be interesting to look into. So that's my presentation for this week. We didn't quite get there, unfortunately. I don't think I'm going to use it. I better just use my bloody actual time. Make some more.
I don't know. Maybe we should just start using it. Maybe that would help us. Maybe Riverside would like have one. Does it?
Oh, I haven't looked into that.
I haven't looked into that. Potentially.
Riverside seems pretty good like that. Maybe that's the next thing they're developing. But
yeah, Riverside, if you're listening.
CEO of Riverside, whoever you are. Ideally, I was going to find one that was free and I could just get these unbelievable snippets out and you'd be like, Barks, geez, you've been hard at work this week, and I wouldn't admit to it. I'd just be like, yep.
Well, I did actually ask you with the snippet you pumped out whether you would use AI. Because I was like, oh, this is different. Oh, dear.
It's me. All right.
Let's hit it.
Yes?
Let's
hit
go.
The eggs.
Egg of the week.
I didn't know if you had the sound effect.
I don't. I probably do.
Egg of the week.
But it's fine.
Friends and enemies. That's all right. You can just put it in. Don't get AI on this one. You've got a 2.
I've got
do
2.
You want to play a bit of tennis?
You want to do a bit of tennis? Yeah. I actually had yours as well, so I'm glad I've come with backups.
Okay, good.
I don't know. I don't know when this is from. Is it this one? Yeah. I don't know when this is from, but this is just like oh shit, that's loud. Sorry. For anyone watching at home, it's a fan activation moment of some guy at some soccer game. It looks like in South America somewhere, and he's doing a fan activation thing. And it's an obstacle course, and he's just basically like failing at every obstacle that he has to try and get over.
Doesn't look like they could have chosen a more unfit bloke.
He's a slightly larger man. He's trying his heart out, but he's
not letting it stop him.
He gets to every obstacle and just he's about to go into like gladiator style where he has to wrestle someone.
Yeah, it's full gladiator
style. Hasn't taken the hitting stick. He's just gone straight to. Now he's asking for it. Oh, mate. This is 2 minutes of pure gold. Like, I think he's going to get hit off here. I don't know,
no,
man.
He's actually technically won that.
It's just brilliant. It goes for 2 minutes. It's quality viewing. And this man is my egg. He's now denying the help. He doesn't want the help. He doesn't want to get in. Oh.
I'm shocked here. You're not going down the paid fan path?
No, I think this is too shit to be a paid fan path.
Me too, but could that not be the point?
I don't know. I just don't know. He's just
because I think that would be. Oh, but that's what your other example was of that other camera operator dancing at that NRL game. So they've gone down the shit path, like showing someone that's really bad as opposed to showing someone really good.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just look. If you ever need to pick me up, this video is the one. If you ever think you're shit at what you're doing, just. We'll put it in the show notes. It's actually so funny.
As long as you try hard,
yeah.
Listeners. Don't let Jules get in your head.
Also, for anyone wondering, the show notes are accessible through the link in our bio.
Wow.
Yeah, I probably haven't called that out. Like all the examples we talk about, I link them in our show notes, which are on our link in bio. So check them out. We're not just talking about
Unbelievable.
shit. Yeah. Anyway, nice of you to check, Bucks. But anyway.
Yeah, I didn't know that existed. My egg this week is Conor McGregor, UFC fighter. So he was at the Miami Heat playoff game during
Yes,
the
he
week, and
was.
obviously had a bit of a skit. Speaking of skit, to fight the mascot, and he took it a bit far because he actually sent the Miami Heat mascot to hospital with a punch to the head. So
This is
probably just taking it a
incredible,
bit.
isn't it?
Yeah,
Here it is.
I didn't watch it. I didn't watch it live, but it's very funny.
So in the live video, this is just a report on it. In the live video, he hits him. The mascot goes down, but then he follows up with a ground and pound, which is just.
So I want to know which punch did it.
Oh, it's got to be the ground and pound. If you're looking at this picture, he's absolutely gone hard with this second hit.
I mean, I still think surely like 2 hits were in the script, so he's just gone. I don't know.
I don't know.
I did find the third picture there on that comment, Jules. He's the third highest paid mascot, I think. So he's going all right. They're going all right.
I was about to say to you, this mascot's probably got the best health insurance in America.
True. That's a very good point.
Settle
down, Connor.
My second egg of the week, again from the good people at Bad Design podcast, an amazing follow. So Madden released the cover for their 2024 game. Looks amazing, like this amazing photo. I think it's of the quarterback from not the Patriots, the Buffaloes, Josh Allen. Anyway, looks like a great photo, Bucks. You can see it looks pretty impressive. Do you notice anything without looking at the sidebar?
No, I'm trying to look for a bad Photoshop. But
all right, let's have a closer look. The bad Photoshop is right here in the middle of his mouth guard. They've photoshopped half of the guard out, but left the rest of it in. So for those just listening at home, they with an NFL mask, they've got that guard on the face front of it, and it's obviously got like different wires and stuff like that. So they've tried to Photoshop it out so his mouth is clear and you can see his raw reaction, but they haven't gone all the way through. So this is just a weird, like half poking it out. And this has gone to production.
What are they doing? Just type that into generative fill, and get it done. That wouldn't miss half of it.
I know. And then one of the tweets back to this is they didn't send in finalcover.jpg. They just sent in finalcover.jpg.
That's such a real thing that happens. In case that's not clear to everyone, how you just file name things when you're sending to people. Final, actual final, V5. Final 2. V5. That's funny.
But use AI. Yeah, use AI. Don't be silly. A few eggs, but Barks, let's get into the bosses.
Let's do it, Julian. Now, you don't have one.
I don't have one this week. I don't know. Sorry.
Well, mine's nothing wholesome. Mine's just good bit of content because that's what we love here at the Content Catch-Up. Now, the JackJumpers, we haven't talked about them for a while. Good old
Jack-off jumpers.
And they're quite funny because we give them probably equal amount of wax as we do compliments. They could give you anything, JackJumpers. But this week they just something a little bit clever in their Instagram story. So Milton Doyle was a player for them last season. In Port, he wears number 25, and during the day that they were going to announce Milton Doyle as returning to the team, they put up a couple of Instagram stories that seemed a bit random. I forgot what they were. Maybe some linking to a couple of articles. But in the shot clock in the background, they had number 25 on the shot clock. The shot clock only goes up to 24 seconds, and a few fans noticed it. And I thought it was just a clever little integration into teasing a bit of news that was happening later that night.
That is very clever. Very spot the difference type setup, isn't it?
Yes, exactly. Something that anybody can notice. So, yeah, probably pretty self-explanatory, but good on you. Whoever, I don't even know anyone from the JackJumpers who works there, but
I think it's Jack.
That's not funny.
You're so
I think it's actually the mascot
who's got a concussion.
Punch him, Connor.
Oh yeah, sorry, Barks. I don't have any bosses this week. It's
fine.
Just haven't seen anything that I really rate, unless we go an egg boss for old mate who's just committed to the obstacle course.
No, you can't. There should be an actual there's an overwhelming rule that you can't have both.
No, he wasn't a boss. Should we fight?
We should fight. I don't have anything again this week.
That's
I've
right.
been slacking on this one.
I don't know if you're going to fight with me on this one. Actually, I've got two. I think one you'll fight with me on. I purposely didn't. Didn't put it in the show notes because I thought you might see it.
I like when you do that.
NBA is dead, Bucks.
What do you mean?
I just don't think anyone gives a rat's ass anymore. This has got to be one of the most underwhelming playoff series.
You are the definition.
Least talk about.
You are the definition of a casual fan.
No, I just don't think anyone cares anymore.
No, so there's nothing wrong with being a casual fan, but somebody who doesn't watch it closely, I can see why you would say that, and I will give you a reason. It's because they've had the discussion. I was listening to an NBA podcast the other week about the next generation of they call the Steph LeBron problem. So once Steph and LeBron are gone, the casual fans who would make up, let's face it, like a massive amount of NBA fans, they're not going to watch it because there's no like generational players out there yet that have like the skill and the sort of following and charisma to them. So to you, it might be, but I strongly disagree. It's in a very good spot with the fans that are actually rusted on and they actually care.
Nah, it's dead.
No, it's not. You don't know. You just don't know the team.
I just don't think there's anything good coming out of it. I haven't seen anything exciting. Like, you got this fucking big guy, what's his name? The Joker, just like, who shouldn't be dominating, but he is. So like, there's just nothing good going on, man.
So he's one of the most skillful player the game has ever seen. And just because he's not some massive African American.
Oh, come on. Don't even say that, Bucks. That's so racist.
You're being racist.
I'm not being racist. I'm just saying he's a boring looking player.
But I'm saying if he was dunking on the top of everybody, would you be saying that? Because that's the typical.
And only black people can dunk. Is that what you're saying?
But I'm saying the league is so much more populated with European talent and non-American talent, and it's amazing. But the casual fan, which again, nothing wrong with being a casual fan, that's probably a reason why it's not as enticing to them.
Nah,
I think that's fine to say.
I think it's just dropped off, mate. I just don't think it's that entertaining.
You're a casual
You can't
fan,
call me that.
Fine. I can, and I will. It's like the NFL fans that only watch the Super Bowl.
I knew that one would get you up and going.
Yeah, I'm definitely not agreeing. In fact, there's been this recent thing on Twitter saying that this season has been the most entertaining storylines ever.
Well, it doesn't count if you tweet it. Like,
I didn't tweet it. It's like a trend. People just keep recalling. Oh, a teammate got punched. Like, what more do you want?
I haven't even seen any good content to come out of the basketball in about 3 years, so I think it's dead.
I gave you some from Jimmy Butler last week.
I did say it was good.
Jimmy Butler is one of, and Nikola Jokic, the Joker. They're probably two of the ones that have given the best sort of, not only their skill and plays, but just in terms of their personality. So I'd just like you to check yourself before I wreck yourself.
I told you we need something to fight on, so I just pulled something. But yeah, I genuinely kind of agree with myself that it's dead.
I thought you were going to go back on it. Well done for agreeing with your own statement, Jules. It's very big of you. Oh, wow. That was good. I needed that.
I've got another one. I think you'll agree with this. Fans on social, I think we've discussed this. I'm all for you going the team and talking about performance and all this kind of shit. I think I've now drawn the line at like going after the team that are just trying to do their jobs, like the content creators, basically. I'm getting pretty fed up with fans in inverted comma, like the casual fans or the trolls or whatever you want to call them.
Tell me about it. The casual NBA
fan. I'm getting pretty fed up with the commentary when a team's not performing. Just having a crack at the social media people or the content producers or the video producers, whoever it may be, just trying to do their jobs and still remain creative. It's
ridiculous.
It's one of the, I think we've spoken about this probably before, but it's one of the unspoken ones for me more regularly in terms of like, we always consider the impact on the athletes when they see criticism on them. But like behind that is a lot of people who are trying to just do their jobs. And they can't go to work and do nothing. And they're trying to think of new ways to still have positivity or like still show work or even just be creative themselves, and getting slammed by people who just think it's funny to jump on and say, oh, it's not too late to delete this, or admin has finally found the login for this, or oh, this is an L, don't post this, just show us this, or whatever. It's like there's a line, and I think you do accept a bit of criticism if it is tone deaf content, and I'll accept that. But there's also like, okay, what are we supposed to do? We don't just sit here and get paid to do nothing.
Yeah.
We give you stuff to interact with all the time. Like, you should be grateful. Like, not in a bad way, but like, you should be happy that there's something to talk about, that we're still going out there and doing this. Because, you know, like, the losses hurt the content team as much as it hurts a general fan. Like, yeah, I just think it's also just fucked.
Oh no, it is. I think it's like, isn't it strange that it's such like a rare job where you can be criticized? Not criticized. It's like it's a very rare field where you can put your work out there, whether it's a tweet, an article, a post, whatever, and then somebody can actually like attack you or say something bad about you, but it's like indirectly at you and it's accepted. Does that make sense? Like, so somebody can actually indirectly attack you or have a go at you, and there's nothing that, well, I'm not going to say your employer does about it, but it's almost just accepted because it's behind social media, and it's not actually like, oh, Julian, you did this. It's delete this or whatever, but you're the one who made the decision to put that out there because you're just doing your job.
Yeah. And
you can't stop. Like, I just don't think people realize that you're not going to just stop doing your job. Like, it's not like you can come into work Monday because your team had a really big loss and just say, nope, keyboard down.
Yep.
I'm not doing anything this week.
Because that's the challenge as well. Like, you challenge yourself in those instances to be more creative, but it does make you doubt yourself. And then it's immediate feedback for people who haven't really even stopped to consider or consume what you've created. And you're like, what the fuck? Like, just give it a chance, you know? Like,
I think it's so hard because you're right. If there is like tone deaf stuff said, then of course, I mean, it's going to come across poorly or weirdly, but then to what you're saying, like, when we don't need to go into specific examples, but it's just, it still doesn't allow, like, it's still not an excuse to do it. Like, it's still not an excuse to bring someone down, even if it is just a sentence in responding to a tweet, but it's still someone behind that.
I actually found myself for the first time, like, and I'm not 100% proud of this, but biting back at someone. I sent them a message and I actually said, look, we're just trying to do our jobs here. And I know you're entitled to your opinion, but just consider that there's people here that are feeling this as well and still have to like find a way to promote it. And maybe we didn't get it right, or maybe we didn't nail it, but we're in the same boat as you. Like, if you have a bad day at work, what do? Do you just switch off and not do anything, or like, do you just try and keep going? It's just the fact that our work is so public facing. I
wonder if, like, it's such a good point, because sometimes, like, you can tell yourself all you want, like, oh, we don't need to respond, or we just should ignore this, but then so many people would have done it over the time. Then I can't help but to think of, again, American culture side of this thing. If you just kept going back with responses, do you think there's ever a point where that actually helps the situation? Like, what if you responded? Yes.
Look, I don't think this actually helped the situation. I felt like I had a respectful conversation. I don't know if this person would change it and would change their opinion, and I'm not expecting them to. I think the goal of that conversation is just like, you know, we are people here. I don't know. That's all I want to get across.
No, I just think about the quality of person that takes the time to. Like, could you imagine having that much time just to say these things? behind a keyboard. Like the phrase gets said all the time about keyboard warriors, but just imagine the actual person in their living room or whatever just making these comments. Like they're just low lives. Like that's what they are. Like these aren't nice people. I don't know.
And full like thing. The person I spoke is not a low life. They're just a very passionate fan, and I understand the frustration, and I understand all of that.
No, they're fucking low lives.
No, they're not. They're a good person. It's just like they've got status within the community, so people listen to what they say. So if they're saying one thing, it's kind of like that'll get opinions and that'll get groundswell and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, that's just something like if you are if you are a content creator, no, I'm not going to talk to the low lives. If you are a content creator and you are feeling this pressure, just know that it happens to all of us, and like just keep pushing on with the creativity and do what you can and share what you're comfortable with, but keep being creative yourselves and keep trying to find the creativity that will spark the next thing, because you don't know when it's going to turn around, and you don't want to be in a funk with ideas. Like push yourselves and just know that somewhere out there, someone does appreciate the work that you're doing, and it's not all the negativity that you sometimes see.
Yeah, well said, Julian. I'm not going to fight on that one. No, I don't have anything to add to this segment. But before we close off the show, I just wanted to. I always find it interesting to see what people in footy are doing next. And I found out the other week via LinkedIn that our mate Jenna Fulton is moving on from Gold Coast.
Yes.
And I don't know if I've seen the following LinkedIn status, but I think it's just interesting. It's good when you meet a lot of people in the footy and sport world, but I'm always curious about people that move on from footy clubs. I don't know why, but I like to see what they do next. And I think Tom Robertson from Collingwood is another one that went to Kathmandu, and I've been following some of his stuff. So yeah, just thought I'd note that because I think it'd be interesting to see what Jenna does.
Yeah, I think I don't know if Jenna's announced this, but on air, so I won't say where they've gone, but yeah.
Oh, you know.
I do know.
It's not on LinkedIn?
No, I don't know. So we might cut this bit. But yeah, all the best to Jenna. I know wherever she'll land.
All the best for what?
I can't tell you, mate. Stop making it awkward. But yes, it is interesting to see where people go after sport, because it's such a creative space, right? Like you do learn skills that like do hold you in good stead for many other jobs, as you would know, Bucks. Like you're not directly in sports. You've got some element of sport in your job now, but you, let's say 90% not in sport. So it is kind of interesting. And when I say sport, I mean like the actual team-based sport, not a...
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
I was going to say, basketball is still a sport.
Well, it's not. Didn't you hear my content trend?
It's dead. It's dead. Expand it, not from NBA, but the whole sport of basketball
get rid of it.
is dead.
Hey, before we do wrap up, I guess this should have belonged in the boss section. I did remember it a bit later on, but I just want to shout out friend of the show indirectly, but Ruben Williams from Sports Grad this week. He had a very honest post talking about an experience of his where he was sexually assaulted by a colleague, and a very in-depth post, and I encourage everyone to read it. But I just want to shout him out for having the courage to bring that up, because that's a big thing for someone to talk about, not just in your personal circles, but in a public sphere. And hopefully it has encouraged others to do the same thing and acknowledge that they're not on their own if that has happened to you. So yeah, just shout out to Ruben. Good on you, mate. Yeah. I hope you found some peace in being able to share that, and thank you for sharing that with everyone.
Yep. Far bigger than anything silly we've ever talked about on this show. So very good call and good final boss to end it on.
Yes.
On that note, you know what I wanted to say before this? I thought I had earlier today. Is there any proven fact that saying make sure to follow our social media account, etc., on the end of podcasts and content pieces, does that actually result in followers? Or is that something we all just say?
I think we just all say it just in case of the off chance that you are stumbling across this podcast for the first time. But
I think it's just funny because like you listen to every podcast and to this day they all still say it, including us. And I'm like, is there any proven facts? Like you're actually already listening to the podcast, so you know it exists.
I think it's just a nice way to wrap it up. We can start saying something different. Maybe we say don't follow us on social media.
We want to get down to 0 followers.
We want to get down to 0 likes for our posts. We're not far off.
Yeah. Yeah, that was depressing. Anyway.
Oh, dear. Anyway, friends, enemies, thank you for tuning into our 3rd consecutive episode of this show. Episode 19 was proudly brought to you by the good people at Riverside.
We had a sponsor.
I wish we did. But no, thank you all for tuning in. Again, make sure if you do know a cool Australian content creator that you haven't heard us talk about on the show, please send it through. We are keen to hear more and explore them and talk about the work that they do. Hopefully not shit can them. Any ideas for guests, please send them through. We're trying to get one on. Don't know who it's going to be.
Overdue.
But we will try and get one in the next couple of weeks.
Barks be Edwin.
Probably Edwin. Anything else from you, Barks?
No, nothing at all. Thanks to Beacon Lighting for the sponsor. You just start naming a random.
Thanks to Tony Corks.
We do have one.
Yeah,
we do have one actually. Jeez, you've gone dark in that room.
No, it's gone dark in here. Yeah, so we've had low data mode on just so we could actually get through the show. But anyway, make sure you don't like and follow our content. It's shit anyway. Don't worry about it. Just listen to the show and enjoy it. Everyone, have a great week. We might see you again next week.
Maybe.
Who knows?